welcome to Shelf Timber, where we're using things from our pantry and freezer and things we have on hand to make, I'm going to do 3 meals. 3 meals in this video that is from items I already had. And the host is Mama Friendly. Please check out her channel and all the amazing creators in the playlist to give ideas to you, to give you some ideas to use staples and things we have on hand. Okay, we're gonna just boil these, cook them until they're soft, and then we will rinse them and slice them. First of all, we have our hash browns, our fried taters. We got, I diced the potatoes that I boiled, and I added 1 onion to this, and I added some bacon grease. We're gonna just fry these up. And why we do that, since we're on fry duty, we are going to fry our sausage for our sausage gravy. Now we're going to add some pepper. I added a little bit of butter because I like to use two different oils when it comes to my fried potatoes. So I use bacon grease and a little butter. I think they don't stick and they get brown better. I'm going to add some pepper to our sausage. It's frying up nicely. And then if you do salt, you add the salt of your choice. I do Mrs. Dash, so I'm going to sprinkle in some Mrs. Dash. And some for my sausage. I'm going to take our chopper and chop our sausage. So it can fry easier. Now we're going to add our flour. I just do about 2 handfuls. I know it's not precise. Maybe a little more. I'm not too precise on it. And then I fry the flour up till it gets brown. So you want to stay with it because you don't want your flour burnt. You're collecting all that good stuff on the bottom of the pan. That's what makes your gravy good. And now we're going to add our milk. Then we'll just fry this down until it gets the thickness and consistency we like. Oh, I don't drink milk. My husband takes a ½ gallon of milk to work every week, and normally we dump out the other ½ gallon unless he decides to come home and drink it. So it's not like I'm wasting milk or bought extra just for this recipe. It was stuff that we probably either threw out or Dad had to drink it. So we didn't waste it. So when I was born, I was lactose intolerant, so I'm really picky about what dairy I eat and how much. I don't drink a lot of milk. I do dairy in moderation. Or you could do any kind of shortening. You could do olive oil. You didn't want to do bacon grease. Is because I like hash browns. It's nice and golden, nice and brown. I like crispy hash browns. I like the crispy bits in there. And if you don't, I never had luck with that until I used two different kinds of shortenings. Our gravy is perfect. I've already turned it off. I boiled it till it's just absolutely. Is our pantry. First of all, I got this in 2013, so it needs used up. It's a pound of hamburger. And these, I raised in my garden, so they needed to be used. So, we're going to start with those two things. And if I have extra of these onions, I'm going to just freeze them. Because I chopped all the onions that we got out of the garden. I'm going to brown this and sear it. And we'll be back. Okay, let's add our chili powder to taste. Then I'm going to add some Mrs. Dash because I don't do pepper. I don't do salt. Then I'm going to do a little bit of roasted garlic. Then I'm going to add another layer of flavor, some celery seed. And then last but not least, it's starting to look like chili now. I turned my slow cooker down to slow cook. Now I'm adding some crushed black pepper. If I had celery, I added a couple stalks of celery, but my celery had its days, so I had to skip that. Turn this down to slow cook, and we are going to let this cook. You can cook it on high for 4 hours or low for 8. I'm going to probably do mine for 4. Because we don't know when Thad's coming home. Okay, here's our lunch, chili and a hot dog. Have our Dutch oven Instapot set on sear. And yes, we're going to add a stick of butter. We're going to get this melted, and then we'll go on to the next step. We are going to fry up in this butter 2 large onions. My onions came from our garden, which I guess you can't get any more than using what you have than using stuff out of your garden. We're going to fry these until they're translucent in the butter. And we'll be back. We're going to add 1 container of sour cream. This is 16 ounces of sour cream. And 1 pack of Philadelphia cream cheese. Actually, if my mother-in-law was making this, she would add, to hers, she always added some shredded cabbage. But I chose not to do that to mine. Then we're going to let this cook for about an hour. And I'm going to leave the top cracked a little bit so it may boil down. I'm trying to get some of the liquid to boil down a little. It smells amazing. Okay, this calls for 4 cups of chicken stock. Surprise, surprise, I don't have any in the pantry, and I don't have bouillon either. So we're going to substitute with beef stock. Four cups of beef stock. We're going to turn this down on slow cook. And we're going to add our pierogies. We're going to set this for about 4 hours, but we'll be coming back in 3. Okay, we are going to add 1 kielbasa sausage.